She left a note saying, "Don't look for me." I didn't. 3 days later, she showed up at my lawyer's office in tears and realized she was powerless. Before we jump in, hit that subscribe button. You won't believe how wild this Reddit story gets from start to finish. My wife left a note. "Don't look for me." I didn't. Not immediately. I just stood there in the silent kitchen, staring at the 4 sentences she had written. I need to be on my own for a while. This isn't working for me anymore. I need freedom. Don't look for me. It was sitting on the polished granite of our kitchen island, her house key deliberately placed beside it. Not the front door key, but the back door key she always used. That small detail made the departure feel deliberate, purposeful, almost ritualistic. The air still smelled faintly of the coffee she'd made that morning. I glanced around, taking in our life as if seeing it for the first time. The backsplash we had argued over endlessly, the Scandinavian armchair she mostly ignored, the framed photos scattered across the counters and shelves. Every object reminded me of a shared history, now frozen, suddenly irrelevant. No shouting, no thrown objects, just a silent, heavy grief, a stone in my stomach, but mixed with an unsettling calm. Lauren had always been impulsive, prone to dramatic gestures, but I had always been methodical. She made scenes, I made plans, and this was a scene, all right, but I wouldn't play the role she expected. I picked up my phone and made 3 calls. First, Walter Chen, the divorce attorney with a reputation for ruthlessness and precision. I booked the earliest appointment. Next, the bank. A simple lie. My debit card had been compromised. They froze our joint accounts immediately. My personal account remained untouched. A small cushion, enough to maneuver, enough to survive. Then I went to the closet. Her side was half empty. She had taken the expensive pieces, her favorite dresses, but she had left the dress from our first date. The photos on her nightstand, even her muddy running sneakers in the middle of the new rug. A careless act or maybe a subtle message. Either way, I noted it, filed it away mentally. I had 2 weeks of vacation approved, a solo hiking trip I'd planned for months. Lauren had refused to join, calling it boring. I packed my bag, placed her note in the top desk drawer, locked the front door, and walked away. I didn't look for her. She asked for freedom. I gave it, on my terms, with legal counsel in the background. 3 days later, the mountain air, sharp and clean, filled my lungs. The texts I had ignored while hiking flashed briefly, from indignant friends to panicked messages from Lauren herself. "Why isn't my card working?" A flicker of confirmation, not guilt. I put the phone away. I hiked, I breathed, I planned. Monday morning, I returned. And there she was, sitting outside my lawyer's office, tears streaking her makeup. She looked nothing like the Instagram-perfect version of herself. Carefree, clinking cocktail glass, captioned, "Finally free." Today, she looked frayed, human, and scared. She saw me, shot to her feet. "Nathan, what the hell is going on?" I didn't answer. I just looked at her. Lauren's panic was immediate, even before she opened her mouth. "Nathan, my card was declined at a hotel. The joint savings, they're frozen." I tried calling the bank. "What is happening?" I adjusted my tie slowly, deliberately. "It's a security breach, Lauren. Our financial security has been breached." Her face twisted in confusion, shock, and a growing sense of fear. For a moment, I allowed myself a quiet observation. This was the first time the consequences of her impulsive decisions had truly hit her. Lauren had assumed freedom was instant, that I would remain passive while she explored it. She hadn't counted on me acting deliberately, methodically. I thought back to the note on the counter, her cursive looping neatly, almost clinical, each word intentional. She had wanted independence. I would give it, on my terms. I wouldn't let grief cloud judgment, or let emotion dictate action. The texts I had ignored while hiking flashed across my mind. The indignant, frustrated messages from friends, Then the panicked messages from Lauren herself. "Are you seriously ignoring me? Why isn't my card working?" Not guilt, but a confirmation that reality was now aligning with my plan. I began executing a sequence of deliberate actions. The house. Renewing the lease in my name alone. Every document ready. Every legal step calculated. The accounts, ensuring that all joint funds were frozen, but my personal account remained untouched, a cushion for maneuvering. Her belongings, carefully taking note of what she had left behind, what she had taken, and any subtle signals in her choices. Each step was methodical, quiet, and deliberate. I didn't need to shout or force a confrontation. I just needed to let the consequences of her choices unfold, knowing I had positioned myself to navigate them safely. Even small details mattered. Her dress from our first date remained, the photos on her nightstand, the muddy Adidas sneakers abandoned in the middle of the rug. Each tiny act of carelessness was a clue, a window into her priorities. By the time I returned from the mountains, I felt a calm I hadn't known in years. I was clear-headed, focused, and ready. I pulled up to Walter Chen's office, and there she was. Lauren. Frayed. Tears-streaked. The perfect Instagram persona stripped away. Kyle wasn't with her yet, but that was coming. Her eyes met mine as I parked. I could see the confusion, the fear, the dawning realization that the reality of freedom wasn't as simple as she thought. The stage was set, and the next act, the confrontation and exposure of betrayal, was about to begin. Lauren hadn't just left a note. She had carefully constructed a separate life, one she assumed I would ignore while she enjoyed her freedom. But she hadn't accounted for the meticulous nature that had always defined me. It started when I discovered her browser history and messages she hadn't deleted. Hotel bookings, restaurant reservations, private Instagram chats with Kyle, her colleague, months of planning, casual jokes about my predictable life, her excitement over escaping me, all neatly documented in digital breadcrumbs. 6 months of deception laid bare. I saved every screenshot, organized them, labeled the thumb drive leverage, and emailed a copy to Walter Chen. Each file a reminder that this wasn't about revenge, it was about clarity, preparation, and control. That evening, I received a voicemail from an unknown number. A smooth, confident male voice. "Kyle. Nathan, I think we got off on the wrong foot. Lauren is upset, and you're not being rational. Let's have a man-to-man chat and sort this out." I didn't call back. Instead, I forwarded the voicemail to Walter. He would handle it. Later that evening, I noticed movement outside my door. Peering through the peephole, I saw them. Lauren slightly behind Kyle, his hand possessively on her lower back. They rang the bell aggressively. I opened the door a crack. Chain on. "Kyle, Lauren, this isn't the way," I said evenly. "Your things will be handled by attorneys. You have no legal right here." Kyle's confidence faltered slightly. "This is her home. We just need a few things, handled by our lawyers," I repeated calmly. "And by the way, the key you left wouldn't have worked anyway. I changed the locks when you left." Lauren's face twisted in confusion, then panic. Her Instagram-perfect freedom shattered. Kyle tried to assert himself, leaning into the doorway, but the chain held firm. "You'll regret this," he muttered. I stared at him, dangerously calm. "Is that a threat?" He faltered, muttered something unintelligible, and retreated with Lauren. Inside, I sat at the old shared desktop. The evidence was staggering. Hotel reservations, messages, plans, all proof of premeditated betrayal. The grief I had carried was now sharp, cutting, focused. It had transformed into strategy, a quiet determination that Lauren and Kyle had underestimated. Over the next few weeks, I executed every step methodically. Lease renewal in my name, legal control over joint accounts, carefully documented communications. Every attempt Lauren made to access funds or manipulate me through Kyle was blocked by Walter's precise legal strategy. Meanwhile, Their social media facade grew desperate. Expensive dinners, weekend trips, staged happiness, desperate attempts to maintain appearances while reality quietly collapsed around them. The freedom Lauren thought she had achieved was quickly proving to be fragile, precarious, and exhausting. And all I had done was step aside, let their choices play out. No yelling, no confrontation, just methodical, deliberate action. Monday morning, I walked into Walter Chen's office, sharp suit, calm mind, and a plan in place. The crisp air outside seemed to reinforce the clarity I felt inside. And there she was, Lauren, sitting on the low brick wall outside, her head in her hands, makeup streaked with tears. Gone was the Instagram-perfect woman clinking cocktail glasses. Today, she looked raw, human, broken. Her eyes met mine as I pulled into the parking space. She jumped to her feet, voice shaking. "Nathan, what is going on?" "My card, our accounts. I can't access anything." "I don't understand." I remained calm, deliberate. "You asked for freedom, Lauren. You got it. But freedom comes with consequences." Her panic was palpable. She tried to reach me, grabbing my arm. I didn't pull away, but I didn't respond. Everything was unfolding exactly as it should. Then came the email confirmation on her tablet. Divorce papers. Filed, formalized, immediate. The realization hit her like a physical blow. She hadn't left me. She had expected me to wait, patient and passive, for her to decide the timing of our reconciliation. She had misjudged me, underestimated my ability to act rationally in chaos. "You hired a lawyer?" she shrieked, voice cracking, tears streaming. "We have to talk. Therapy. You can't just blow up our life." I turned, calm and cold. "You left a note, Lauren. Don't look for me. You wanted freedom. I'm just formalizing it. Our life is yours to manage now, not mine." Her sobs followed me as I opened the heavy glass door to Walter's office. Each step echoed in the lobby, each breath a confirmation of the control I had regained. The fallout didn't end there. A week later, a voicemail from Kyle, smooth, confident, attempting intimidation. "Nathan, let's have a man-to-man chat." I didn't call. I forwarded it to Walter. The next evening, they appeared at my door. Lauren slightly behind Kyle, his hand on her lower back, the picture of smug entitlement. But the door stayed closed, chain in place. Their threats dissolved into nothing. Legal boundaries, precise documentation, and methodical preparation made their aggression meaningless. Inside, I reviewed her messages, hotel bookings, and private chats with Kyle. 6 months of betrayal, meticulously documented. I saved screenshots, filed everything, and felt grief transform into something sharper. A quiet, strategic power. I wasn't seeking revenge. I was ensuring justice through the system and through careful, deliberate planning. Each subsequent move, from freezing joint accounts to renewing the lease in my name alone, was a step in the chain of consequences she hadn't anticipated. Lauren and Kyle's carefully curated illusion crumbled under their own mistakes. The desperate posts, the staged happiness, the social media facade, they all screamed of people realizing their choices had consequences. And all I had done was step aside, let reality unfold, and ensure I was prepared to protect myself. The climactic moment wasn't a shouting match. It was the quiet, undeniable revelation that her freedom, her choices, had led her to a position she hadn't expected. And I was ready. 6 months later, it was over. The divorce finalized quietly, not in a courtroom shouting match, but through a series of deliberate negotiations between Walter Chen and Lauren's lawyers. Walter's approach had been masterful, presenting the facts, exposing her premeditated abandonment, and documenting Kyle's interference. Every action she had taken against me was recorded, every lie and plan catalogued. Lauren walked away with her personal belongings, carefully boxed and placed in storage. A small portion of the joint savings, court-ordered, was released to her. Her car, given by her parents, she retained. But the house, the dream we had shared, remained mine. By renewing the lease in my name alone before the divorce, the option to buy was solely under my control. The down payment I had carefully saved in my personal account remained untouched. The fallout for them was immediate. Kyle's finances were tied up in his own messy divorce, which became increasingly public. Lauren's freedom, once so glamorous in her Instagram posts, came at a cost far higher than she had anticipated. Their social media posts of staged happiness disappeared. The toxic workplace gossip reached them at every turn. Promotions they had anticipated slipped past them as senior leadership grew frustrated with their reckless behavior. Even small details brought quiet satisfaction. One evening, while relaxing on my new sofa, I received a Spotify notification. Your password has been changed. Lauren had been using our old family plan, a tiny, insignificant tether I had forgotten to sever. A few clicks later, she was removed. A small, final click, like a lock turning on a door I hadn't realized was open. I don't hate her. I don't think about her much at all. Hate is hot, exhausting, and draining. What I feel is cool, quiet indifference, the calm after a storm, the sense of a path properly navigated. The house no longer felt like a stage set. It felt like home. I painted the kitchen a deep, calming blue. The Scandinavian chair she left behind was gone, replaced by a bookshelf filled with books I had always wanted to read. Sometimes, late at night, I allow myself to feel the faint ghost of the pain she caused, the memory of the note on the granite counter. But that pain now fuels something else: clarity, resilience, and the knowledge that I had acted with methodical precision. Not impulse. Lauren and Kyle will likely spend years blaming me, casting me as the villain in their narrative. They will never understand that I didn't seek revenge. I simply stepped aside, let the consequences of their choices unfold, and allowed justice to arrive on its own schedule. I didn't chase her, didn't yell, didn't attempt to punish. I acted rationally, deliberately, and with foresight. The final victory was quiet, clean, and complete. The life I rebuilt is mine, earned not through conflict, but through patience, strategy, and careful action. The house, the accounts, the peace, they are mine, and the freedom Lauren sought came at a price she hadn't anticipated. Reddit comment reactions. Top Reddit comments say things like, "Wow, I didn't see that twist coming." She played the long game perfectly. But he played it smarter. He got what he deserved, or maybe what he planned for. I felt that ending deep, quiet, satisfying, and so real. One of the best stories I've heard here. Methodical, emotional, and fully earned. Thanks for watching till the end. If you want more stories full of twists and drama, hit subscribe and join the adventure.